Welcome. Blessings to everyone. Hopefully the sound's okay for this reading. Um, and so I started to record this reading previously and got about maybe 8 minutes into it and had to restart. But that's okay. So I had actually given you the messages that I usually get before I lay out the cards, and then I laid out the cards to go ahead and give you the rest of your weekly message. So that's why everything's already laid out. But so I will just go ahead and give you the messages that the message that I received for you for your week, which this reading is the weekly tarot or oracle card reading for the week of July 9th, today Monday through Sunday, July the 15th. And so this is for everyone, all signs. So the first message that I got before I shuffled or laid down the cards from the Creator and your divine teams for you all it was really interesting the way they gave it to me. First, they gave me a lot of images, and I couldn't understand at first why I received these images. They were all winter images. I just kept getting cold in winter. So I received it, but I wasn't sure how I was going to explain it to you. But then they gave me more. Right after those winter images, I got pictures of things like flashes of things like bobsleds. And it was like, you want me to tell people to go take a winter trip? So like I said, I didn't know where that was going, but they showed me bobsleds in the snow. They showed me just cold images, winter, and then they also showed me snowflakes. And then after that, so I sat with that for a moment and really, didn't quite understand how I was going to give it that to you. But then they started to give me spring images, beautiful, what do you call it? Sprouts, seeds that have been already been planted, starting to grow. Basically springtime images. So then they put it together for me after that. I guess they were waiting until after I was sure that I received everything and processed, all the pictures and had them committed to memory. But I don't know, but I'm assuming that's what it is. But then they followed with the explanation that, and this is kind of portioned off into two bits. The first bit is for, I believe, a smaller group of you all that feel as if you have been left out in the cold. And I'm getting the number 3. There might just really be 3 of you, a handful of you that literally feel or will feel this week like you've been left out in the cold. Reminds me of the 5 of Pentacles tarot card. But that's the sense I'm getting for a few of you, that you literally feel left out in the cold. And then the other portion of you, the rest of you, may feel like have been left out in the cold, but it's more so that I've been getting the sense that you all feel that the world itself has grown cold. Like it's never really come out of winter. At least we're out of winter now in the US. We're deep in the summer, summer weather, things like that, extreme heat. But still, regardless, you feel like the world is still in winter. Like the world has grown cold. Your environment is cold and unwelcoming, uninviting. You don't feel warmth, essentially. So the way, so those are the two groups of people, but then the message for those two groups of people is that they want to acknowledge how you feel. They see, they know, and they understand that you feel coldness around you. You don't feel, things don't feel like they used to. And especially, and I'm picking up that it's mostly to do this week, especially since this message is for this week. It may mostly have to do with the astrological events. I think there are a couple, at least one coming up this week that are kind of heavy in energies and affect us, pretty, some more than others, but pretty deeply, energetic wise. So they're saying that for this week that, and I'm sure it's stretched prior to this week. It may even have been last week, because I feel like this isn't just starting today, but they want to acknowledge how you have been feeling and how you will feel this week. Like you've been left, essentially. But their message to you in comfort is that spring will come again. They want you to know that you will feel warmth again. And that, things will blossom, especially the things that you've planted. But regardless, there will be blooming. There will be things in bloom around you again. You will begin to feel warmth. You will feel the warmth in your environment, in your community, from others that have made you feel like you're left out in the cold, from, everything that's going on in the world. It won't remain this way. And I feel like this week, like I said, because of the astrological happenings, that it will intensify these feelings. That's kind of where I was going with this. Not that these are new feelings, but that these feelings are really intensified with the energies happening this week. So yes, they want to reach out to you. Their communication to you about this week is in reassurance. But they also wanted to give you that, and they're letting me know you can, accept this or not, but they do want you to know that it is all perspective. It really is. It may feel cold, it may seem cold right now, but there is more warmth around you than you realize. And that this week has, especially this week with everything going on, is going to have a good way of covering that up, so that so that your perception is that there isn't it. Where is the warmth? Where is the sun, in a sense? So, like you have been left uncovered, But they want you to know your perception about that will change soon. Okay? And to know that in comfort. So that was their message for you. And as I said, I've already laid down most of the spread, but they also guided me when I started the last video. They were guiding me to do what I usually do in private readings. And by the way, if you would like a private reading with me, a personal reading, whether it's, what your divine team, what God wants you to know in general in your life, what messages they have for you specifically, personally, or if you have specific questions, I do those readings as well, to delve into detail. But so what I usually do in my private readings is I lay out a timeline, a few cards that will give details of the timeline for you, for whoever I'm reading for, which I don't usually do in these general spreads that I do for the monthly signs or the weekly readings, but they've guided me for this reading, and it's something I may continue to do, especially with the weekly readings, is to go ahead and lay out a few extra cards that will show you what you can expect throughout this week on a more diving down, I guess, drilling down a little bit further into each day. Well, most of the days, because I'm only actually going to lay out 5 cards is all I've been guided to. So it's going to go, the first of the 5 cards, which I'll actually lay out, is for the first day or so, the first part of the week, like today, what the energies that have been going on today, and possibly into tomorrow, bleed into tomorrow. Second card of the 5 will do with tomorrow leading into the middle of the week. The third card is pretty much just smack dab in the middle of the week, Wednesday, give or take. Third, of course, is Thursday and possibly into Friday. The 5th card is the weekend, for both Saturday and Sunday. Okay, so 4th card is kind of Thursday, Friday-ish, and the last card, the 5th one, is into the weekend through Sunday. Okay, so let's get into it and see the energies we're working with for you guys. Well, really for all of us for this week. Anyone watching this video for the week of July 9th through the 15th, we'll take a peek to see what's in store. And if you're looking at this video after those dates, then it's, you know, you can look back and consider, you know, yeah, that actually did coincide with what I was experiencing on this or that day during that week. Especially for those of you who keep diaries, that's a good check to go back on if you'd like to do that type of thing. Some people do, I understand. Anyway, so let's just jump into it. Okay, so this first card is your overarching theme for the week, general theme for the week, and it's called Fiona. I believe, I'm not sure which reading I did last week, who this was for. May have been for Cancerians, but the general theme for this week for all of us is, again, the same thing I picked up strongly as a general theme last week when I gave a reading. And that's buckle yourselves in, because it will be. There'll be, again, a lot going on. These are just heavy energy times, like heavy in the sense that, yes, some of it is literally feels heavy, but also heavy in the sense that there are a mix of a lot of different things going on. So again, that's why they're letting us know it'd be a good idea to buckle in for the ride, because there are going to be a lot of ups and downs this week, and, you know, maybe some tosses and turns. But with this card, they're also saying that regardless of that, you've asked for help. You've asked for God's help in dealing with all of these waves of energies that have been tossing us all about, having us feel like, in one sense or another, that we're out in the cold, or that the world has grown cold. But they want us to know with this card that heaven's heard our requests to be guided through this, as well as to be protected and you don't need to worry as far as that. So this is another good comfort from on high. That is the general energy of this week. Bumpy ride, but you've got this. Just buckle up. And they're saying, we've got you. We're holding you through this. We're with you through this. We're riding through everything and surrounding you, protecting you through this ride this week because you've asked for it. We're here. Next card is shows what the reason for this card, the general theme. Essentially, this is the foundation or the root of the matter, the general matter for this week. And it's open your heart to love, and that's Jesus. So this is telling me that a lot of you have realized, because this is pretty much a past up until now card, so past energies. A lot of you realize and have been doing your best to consciously walk a narrow path. And it's so interesting. They're showing me, usually when you hear that saying, a narrow, you're walking spiritually walking a narrow path, it's usually a narrow, straight path. But they're giving me that this has not been a straight path. It's been very winding for all of you. And the way that this is also given to me is that excuse me, that on this narrow but winding path, meaning you've just been to and fro to sometimes where you guys are not sure really what direction you're being led in, and I'm feeling like that's the main reason that you called and asked for this help, divine help, that you're not really sure what direction you're going in, what direction this path is leading you. But give me the image that this is very much like the Wizard of Oz, and you guys are Dorothy. You feel far from home, and you're trying to stay on this straight and narrow path, the yellow brick road. But right now it's like you're in this forest with lions and tigers and bears and whatever else could come at you. Anything that you might feel threatened by, or that's not coming at you for your good, your benefit. So that's why I kind of chuckled. I mean, they're even showing me wolves that aren't even in sheep's clothing. They're just coming out as wolves. Along this path, and that has really that's really, like I said, what led you to really call out and pray for help to deal with everything, because you want to continue walking this path that leads you that's to your best benefit, as well as to your highest good. It leads you to your highest good. It really leads you back to God. And the reason I hesitate to say that is because you've never left God, really, and God has never left you. But with this journey that we're all on, it feels like that sometimes, a lot of the time actually, but it's not truly the case. Again, there's the perspective they're wanting me to give to you guys. It's really perspective, because it's not the case. It's not true. But you are kind of going through a dark forest in a sense, and surrounded by all of these pitfalls dangers and things that can take you off of your path or threaten you. But so part of what's the word I'm looking for? They're showing me that up until since this is past energies, that it's been Jesus. Whether you called him in or not, he is the one that has been working with you and your spiritual team to nudge you to request this spiritual help that you've asked for. So know that in addition to whoever it is that you normally work with, and I'm sure there's a mix, because this isn't a personal reading, and there are, different people that are watching this with different divine teams and different angels and guides on your divine team. But one that is a connective cord throughout all of your teams, and he's on each one, is Jesus. And he's working with each member of your divine team that helped you to get to this place where you're now protected and guided, receiving the guidance that you need, guidance that you can work with, practical guidance. So yeah, know that Jesus has been working on your behalf, whether you've intentionally called him in or not. He's here with you, and the rest of your team. So the next card shows me what your core desire is for this week coming up. Oh, wow. Okay. And it's titled Teacher, Mahajohan Ragotsi. This card literally did shout at me when I picked it up and held it to show you guys. It is loud and clear to me that your desire, really your current desire, or it will be in these days to come this week. Whew, loud and clear. Okay, so I'm just trying to get that yell out of my head. I hear you loud and clear with this. But your core desire this week is to just learn your lessons already, so that you don't have to go through any more of these crazy energies. You just want to know what you need to know, figure out what you need to figure out, get through your lessons so that you are learned and don't have to do this anymore. It was literally screamed at me, not in a bad way, but just like shouted. You want your lessons learned, period. You're over everything else that comes with learning lessons. The having to learn sometimes the hard way, the harsh way, or figuring things out through experience, learning that way. You're done. You just want to learn what you need to learn now, and let these crazy energies, flow on by you, because you're done with them. Whoa, wow. You're like, enough already. I understand these things are happening so that we learn, but enough already. Let's learn and get on with it. Okay. All right, we got that. They hear you. Yeah. They heard you and they reflected it back the same way I think that you're giving it to them. They reflected it back to me without toning it down at all. Anyway, the next card you have for this week shows your luck card, what I call the luck card, and it shows what you've already sown and therefore have the energies you've already sown and therefore already have working for you, flowing for you, that are already in your luck position. And it's called Rochelle. And yes, I know it's tattered and torn, but it's good. It's good energy. Anyway, so Rochelle, in your luck position, shows that well, it shows that you guys have started, really more than started, but you are learning the lessons as they come, because you are beginning to go within, learn how to go within and tap into your own, what your team, what God is telling you directly, your own intuition. You're beginning to follow your own heart and your own inner knowing from God. So you are learning your lessons. But I get that they can't come fast enough for you right now so that you can get them over with. Because you know they have to come. It's like they either have to come and you learn them, or there's the tower moment, you know. And so you want to go ahead and learn. You want to not even deal with the tower energy, the tower moments anymore. You just want to learn, because you know you have to get these things under your belt. Realize what you need to realize from them. Take the gems you need to take from them, so that you don't have to go through it again, and move on. But there's something else with this, and I'm not sure how to. There's okay, I'll come back to this one. I feel like it has to do with something to do with wearing masks, meaning something along the lines of that one of your lessons has been that you no longer need to go around in this world, in your environment, wearing, artificial masks. And that you guys have taken them off and realize, and because you've learned that lesson, you've taken them off and realized that it's better to be who you are and show others, at face value who you are. But there's more to this. I'll come back to this. So anyway, that's what you already have going for you. And this card's position shows what you have yet to work on for this week, what your challenge or challenges might be. And this is the spiritual law of attraction, Melchizedek. This shows me you are, some of you, well, a lot of you may already know that some, bumpy roads may be ahead, but they're showing me that again, it has to relate back to you feeling like you're in this by yourself, or that you've been left out in the cold. They show me that you really need to address and work on the fact that you do feel like you've been kicked out, left out, forgotten, not cared about, or that the world is cold. And it's almost, they're showing me that you feel like this, a little gnat almost, trying to stave off or ward off this huge storm you see coming, is coming, this rockiness that's coming, but you feel so insignificant against these energies or these things that are happening in your ability to, I guess, ward them off or fight them off or deal with them. You just feel too small, like you just don't have the ability to, like a little gnat trying to fight off, I don't know, a huge wave of or a thunderstorm coming in, and trying to deal with it and fly through it by itself. That's the way they're showing it to me. That you're going to have to really get to the core of that. That is part of the lesson for this week. And also to realize that besides getting to the core of why you are feeling this way, this left out in the cold energy, again, perspective, because there is light and God all around. In addition to getting to the core of why you're feeling this way at this point, to know, and they're wanting me to remind you that in order to help you with this challenge this week, that you have called in help. You have help. This is your help this week. Yes, the storms are coming, so that's why they're telling you to buckle in. They're coming regardless. The wild energies are coming regardless, but you have this help. So they'd like you to realize that and not worry or feel so insignificant, because you aren't at this point. You feel that way. You perceive yourself to be that way, but you are not. You have all the help you need to get through this, to learn, to pick up what you need to pick up the pieces if you need to afterwards, and move on. You do. So just know that, please. Okay, next card shows the outside influences that are affecting you in the situation this week, or the general theme this week. And this is called Choose Peace, Paramahansa Yogananda. And this is really beautiful, because it goes beyond the face value of peace affecting you through, your divine team, through God, through whatever, all the different energies and guides and angels that you have helping you to be in peace and be comforted through these times, through this week. In addition to that peace that you are being given, they're showing me that this is affecting you regardless. These influences coming from outside are affecting you because of your innocence. This is happening without you having to do anything at this point, without much you having any control over it, because of your innocence. It's almost like kind of like it's not your karma coming in from the outside, but it's not only the divine help coming in from outside of your situation, but it's just what's the best way to put this? It usually has to deal with so for instance, it's sometimes people in your environment that you really don't have much of a say-so in how they react to you. People that you know or that you don't know, strangers you may come in contact with on the street while you're out, that type of thing. Or other energies like that you aren't necessarily in contact with, but they're affecting you somehow. And this, okay, now they're giving me, this is a better way to explain it. And this has, it's like what they were talking about before, as far as, oh goodness, I just lost it. What was, so essentially this is because you aren't truly as insignificant as you're feeling these days, because you are more innocent than you realize. These outer energies that are affecting you, that can affect you for the better or the worse, so in a sense it's like karma. These outer energies that are kind of shining onto your situation from the outside have no choice, because of your innocence. It has no choice but to beam in more of that for you. The energies of peace, because of your innocence. I don't know if that, I don't think I explained that as well as I could have, but it's essentially, you've got good things affecting you because of who you are. Just because of who you are. That the outside energies can't help but to shine in, to influence you with some of who you are, essentially. You're not feeling all of who you are, so outside influences are bringing it to you. That's the best way to put it. Because of your innocence, outside forces have picked this up and they are showing you this is affecting you throughout this bumpy energy ride this week. Okay, next card we have is God's advice, your divine team's guidance. And this is called Right by Thoth or Tahoti. Okay. Okay, with this, they're showing, or want me to give you, that they like you this week, whether you're male, female, that embodies masculine energy or feminine energy. They'd like you to really get in touch with and anchor whichever one you are within yourself. They really want you to concentrate on your inherent masculine or feminine energy. And they're not showing me as far as balancing, to basically bringing up both energies within yourself. They're saying whatever you identify with most, anchor that within yourself this week. And what they would also like you to do, and this lends to the whole divine masculine, divine feminine situation. Yes, if you identify more with feminine energy, the power of the female, or whether you identify more with, the masculine energies of this world and ways of being in this world. They want you to get in touch with that and anchor that within yourself. They want you to pay special attention to it, is really the point of this whole guidance. Pay special attention to whatever it is that you identify with. Not try to reconcile both within yourself just this week. They want you to go with what you are most identifying with. Anchor that. Pay attention to that this week consciously. But then the second part is also they would like you to break out a journal, whatever you have to use as a journal, and write about your experiences and your thoughts on being the sacred masculine or the sacred feminine. Okay? That is your guidance for this week. That's what your team would like you to do. Okay. Next card shows what your strength or strengths are for this week. What you already have within you and within your toolbox that you can pull out and use as your greatest strength and benefit for your situation for this week. And this is called Work Your Magic, Saint Germain. And this relates very strongly back to this right card, Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine card. And it's showing that with you understanding with you really getting into the understanding of this, whichever part of yourself you most resonate with, and getting a good grip on that. Your strength in doing that is helping you see the benefits of you, which is something they're telling me you really need to get to know and understand this week as part of your lesson this week, so that you're not feeling like that insignificant gnat up against a big bad whatever energy storm, that you're going to see so many different points of light and value to yourself when you do this exercise that the God guidance has asked you to do and is asking you to do for this week, that you will no longer have this perspective of yourself. You'll see your value. You'll see your worth. And begin using these strengths that you have, being who you are. Just by being yourself, being who you are. Okay, and so now this is letting me go back to here. Your luck card. So they're saying, to wrap this card up, they're saying, yes, you have come to understand. You've learned the lesson of not needing to wear false masks anymore. And that you can and should be who you are. And you've taken off, they showed me that you have taken off this mask, but it's almost like you feel, even though that's a good thing, that's what you have going for you. It's a very beneficial thing for you. It's luck for you that you've done all this work and understood the lesson and have taken off the mask. But in the same sense, they're letting me know that, yes, you've taken off the mask, and that's great. That's working. That's good energy flowing for you. But you still feel a little too naked without it. So even though this is what's going in your favor, this is energy that's working for you, they're wanting you to go deeper with this by getting more in touch with your native energy, understanding it more, writing about your experiences so that you anchor it within yourself, and don't forget it as you continue along your path, so that you can grab onto these beautiful points of light within yourself and all the little values that make you the complete opposite of an insignificant gnat. That's the best way I can put it. That show you your worth. Okay? Because it is one thing to fake it until you make it. That's one thing. But then to know it, to know who you are, and not have to fake it anymore, not have to wear any masks anymore, which you aren't. I'm not saying that you are, but you're itching to put some of you are itching to put those masks back on. And they don't want you to head back down that road. So that's why these things are coming up, including this, what your strength is. Your strength really is in knowing all the light and value that you have. Okay? Now, so before I get to the outcome card, which is really the final card in this spread and in this reading, I'm going to give you your timeline card for this cards for this week. So this is for today, and it could bleed until tomorrow, as I mentioned, but it's for the first part of the week. And this is called Grace and Antoinette. And what I'm getting is that you're spending a good portion of this time forgiving. I am going to say forgiving others, those around you. Doesn't even have to be recently. This could be things that you have been holding on to. But forgiving others for how they have hurt you in different ways, whether they know it or not. You're working on forgiving them, but I'm getting even more that you are working on, you understand the connection between you feeling the need to forgive someone else and needing to forgive yourself. Because usually whenever there's anyone out there that has hurt you and you perceive that hurt, that at some point will have to turn into you deciding whether to forgive them or not, that it's like it's the other side of the same coin, that in some ways you also have betrayed yourself or feel that you have let yourself down, that in some way. So it usually goes hand in hand. If you feel the need to forgive someone else because someone else has hurt you, or just let's back it up and put it this way. If you feel like someone has hurt you, usually goes hand in hand with somehow you have hurt yourself. So that's why I'm saying this is showing me the need, yes, for you to give whoever, for you to forgive whoever it is that has hurt you now or in the past, the distant past, but also yourself. Because, and I don't know if this is something that you're picking up and learning now or not, but I'll go ahead and iterate it here, that they've actually given this to me before, but they're repeating this, that within each of us, there's the light and higher energies and the lower and darker energies. And we have to contend with both. And they're showing me within each of us, within each of you, you can think of it like you have a pair of wings, for instance, on your back. Just think of it in this way. You have wings on your back. You have one of those wings is white. One of those wings is dark colored. So you see other people out and around and about in the world, and you see some of them come at you and deal with you using their, for instance, you see they have the same thing you do. You see their wings with this, colors, different colors. And you see them, some of them, when they come at you with their dark wings, which never feels good. They come at you with their dark wing energy. But I think many of you are already starting to pick this up, and if you haven't, this is for those who have not yet, but will likely be today or soon in the next day or so to come, that the only reason you are able to perceive them coming at you with their dark wing and hurting you with their dark wing, giving you unwanted things that you don't want with their dark wing, is because you carry your own dark wing. You may not wield it the same as they do, but it is still there. And you may not always realize when you do wield it or how you do wield it. Unless it's completely under your control, unless you've completely mastered this energy within you, you may not realize what it's doing to others when you meet them. You may not realize what it's doing to yourself unless you've completely mastered and understand this energy within yourself. So that's what's going on with you guys today. There's a lot of forgiveness, but specifically and especially with the self. Learning that that's really, really where it starts. You want to figure out, and the question might be from a lot of people, I'm sensing, but how do you forgive? How do you really forgive? If somebody hurt you, especially if it's done, it's done intentionally, how do you forgive that? Because it's like you're saying it's okay that you did me wrong. The best way, there are a million ways that can be, the answer and a solution can be given for that. But the way they're giving me, the best way for this scenario with what you guys are going through, is to figure out how to forgive yourself. Start with yourself. Once you get through that process and you've truly forgiven yourself and figured out how to do that, piece of cake for everyone else. So that's why I see this in two parts. You need to forgive yourself, and then there's also the forgiving of those who you've seen done you wrong. Okay? So next, this is tomorrow, possibly into the middle of the week. What's going on with you guys? And this is called Time to Go. I am being given that this is you. Unconsciously or consciously rushing to prepare for these energies that are coming in. And I don't remember which day I guess it's the eclipse that's happening, or I think there's also a new moon, I don't remember. But this is you preparing for that, rushing, they show me. Whether you realize it or not, your energies are realizing it, and so you are preparing to buckle in and get yourself together for this, as well as those who like to consciously participate in the benefits that you can get from working with these energies. For instance, like with the new moon, work on manifesting with those energies and getting what it is together that you'd like to prepare for that. They show me you guys, busying yourselves and hurrying to get these things together in time so that you can work with these energies, as well as those who don't necessarily consciously work with the energies, just preparing for them because they may take you, like I said earlier, on some type of energetic ride that you may not really want to go on, but it's these energies, influence so much of our world, the tides, the weather, us. So kind of whether we like it or not, it's just how we handle them. How much have we learned how to handle them and not necessarily take them on as our own. But anyway, that's what they're showing me this for you. You're spiritually preparing yourselves. If there's some ritual that you do, like I said, that, you ride with the energies and use what you can to benefit yourself from these energies, or whatever it is, you're getting ready. It's like you're racing against the clock. Okay, next card. Yes, it's another beat up card. I love my beat up cards. And this one is for the energies surrounding Wednesday, give or take, a half a day or so. And this is called Patience. This is actually good. Excuse me. The energies are kind of just still and tranquil. And I feel it's because you have, not the energies. I shouldn't have said the energies. You, and all your preparation and leading up to this, the astrological events of this week are calm. Your energies are calm and tranquil. Like you've gathered up your help, your tools, everything that you feel and know that you need to calmly deal with your day, with these energies, with this week. So it's kind of like, it's almost like you're just sitting in wait because you've prepared and you can take on whatever it is that you need to take on. It just really show me you almost being very still and patiently waiting for what it is, whatever it is to come. But I'm also seeing with this Wednesday time frame-ish that even though you may have, your energies are stilled for the most part, there is an energetic vortex opening up for you. I see its pattern begin to swirl, and I'm not sure what it's for. It may be the work that you've been doing and sewing and trying, work on manifestation that you've been doing, but something is beginning to take shape. Energies are beginning to come together. Not too sure specifically what that is, but I get it that it's a good thing. Something that you're working on is beginning to take shape on Wednesday. In even through your calmness, even though it seems like nothing's really moving, something is beginning to. Okay, so this is Thursday into Friday-ish, and this is titled Child. All right. This is really showing me that you're and I don't know or remember the exact dates of these events, the astrological events, but again, this is for Thursday, Friday, but this is showing me that you guys, and it may be because the events have already happened, or at least one of them, that you guys are feeling like you are born again. You're born anew, refreshed. It's the beginning. This is the beginning of that spring that we were told about in the beginning of this reading. That things will begin to blossom again. Things will renew themselves again and rejuvenate. And you are starting to get the sense of this in this time frame, on these days, Thursday, Friday-ish. You start to feel good, renewed. You start to feel a little bit of the innocence creep in from here. That's interesting. And I feel like the portal or the vortex for that begins to open up the day before Wednesday-ish. Okay, and then the last card, which is the weekend for both Saturday and Sunday, is titled Priorities, and it's King Solomon. This just shows me you guys are really feeling victorious this weekend, because you buckled up and you hung in there. It's so cute. And you literally, I'm seeing you guys just in your element, like, I've got this. It's the cutest thing I've ever seen. It is the cutest thing. You really feel victorious, triumphant over what you knew could have really been a messy storm, and you weathered it so well. I don't see, they're not showing me any real celebrations in this, with this card for those days, but I really get the sense that you should do some celebrating because of how happy and how proud of yourself and how you handled everything recently you are. I think you should go out and do some celebrating this weekend, because you're going to be feeling like celebrating your victory. Anyway, my dears, I think that is your reading for this week. So know that I'm celebrating with you, because that is just the cutest. You guys are just too cute with how great you feel about how you've done and how you've begun mastering your lessons and understanding them and taking them in. So well done. Good job. Well done, you. All right. Blessings to you all, and a beautiful week, because you know you've got this. Until next time. And by the way, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, I will be getting out some more of the monthly readings for the different signs out today and tomorrow. Hopefully I finish them tomorrow, but if not, within the next 2 to 3 days, they should be done. Okay, and I believe it's just, let's see, Scorpio was the last one I did. So Sagittarius through Taurus, I believe, I still have left to do. So sorry, I'm a bit behind, but I will catch up. Okay? Blessings. Take care.